What's up world, One Tech Traveler here. Now we're looking at something a bit different today. I'm always on the lookout for more travel inspired posters that capture and document all the different locations that I've been to. So I've been searching around the internet for a while and I came across these guys. They're called Maps of the World. They're quite new, they're based in the UK, but they do ship around the world. And I like the designs of them. You can see they're very colorful, contemporary and clean. Again, I was really curious. So I reached out to them and they were happy for me to create some of my designs and just share my experience going through that process and the final pieces that you see here. Because what makes them really cool is the fact how you can actually create your own designs. So what you see here are designs that I've created myself using the online editors. So in case you are looking for travel inspired posters, you want to decorate your walls with either an abstract or just have a uniform design and color scheme to create a gallery, I think it's a very special way of doing that, and you can check out in the links down below. So looking at the three here, I'm showing you two different ways how you can get the posters from Maps of the World. One is having it framed by the guys themselves, or just having the posters, and those come in a cardboard tube like this one, and they're pretty much all rolled together. So if you have 1, 2, 3 or 4, you'll find them in this. Whereas the framed poster comes in its own bubble wrapped and packaging and separate delivery service. It came in about a week, which I found was actually fine considering it's tailored, custom made and personalized. The frames themselves are handmade, so it was definitely worth the wait. So I just want to talk through some of the designs that I created. So on the framed one, you can see I've got a flat lay version of a city, and that is Seoul in South Korea. This was one of the countries in my original Keep Being Awesome tour over 9 months in Asia, South Korea, Hong Kong and Japan. And I had a lot of memorable moments in Seoul, such as climbing up Bukhansan. It was like minus 15 degrees, lots of snow. I was on my own and I was actually ill, kind of like now. But I pushed myself to go up there and the view was absolutely phenomenal. If you want to read my travel story of Bukhansan, you can check it out on my website. I'll put the link down below. This is based on the city, and you can see you have a mini map option. So even though I've zoomed down to the city, you can also get a view of the whole country, and this is what it looks like of South Korea, if you didn't know. And Seoul is actually towards the top, just the border of North Korea. And then the next one that I've got here is actually Hong Kong. So shout out to all my friends in Hong Kong. Again, I had an amazing time here, 3 months, and I pretty much explored most of the city. And I like this one because, again, whereas Seoul was focusing on the city, this one is looking on its entirety. There's many islands and you can even see the bridge that connects to Macau. So I wanted to capture all of those different islands. If you haven't been to Hong Kong, it's quite an experience, very busy. And if you go outside of the main city, then you will find really luscious natural landscapes that I enjoyed. You can see in the color scheme, I went for a nice contrasty. I find the colors pop out nice. You don't get any color banding, so the printer that they use is really high grade. And this is premium matte art paper, 200 GSM, so you're getting really thick ones compared to the cheaper posters, which are very flimsy and easy to mark. Granted, on this one you still do have to be careful as it comes rolled in the tube, so you don't want to apply a lot of force and leave a mark. Definitely recommend contrasting the colors from the land and the ocean, and it does give you an opportunity to create your own colors. So the roads, amenities, landmarks, it gives you a lot of depth if you really want to customize your own. Otherwise, you've got like 60 presets of color schemes to choose from, and I found there was a lot of great ones. So that was Hong Kong. And then what we have here is probably my favorite design, and this is the one in Lofoten, Norway. I had a great experience. I was out there for 6 weeks in Tangstad, working at the Arctic Co-working Lodge. Shout out to you guys. And again, it was a very memorable trip in the last year, so I created one, but more so because Lofoten is part of the Arctic Circle. You don't get many hours of daylight towards the winter, and you pretty much get all the sunlight throughout the summer. and you can just see all the streaky islands, all separated but connected from bridges. A great place to check out, definitely recommend it, but also geographically you can see just how it makes some amazing art. I went for more of a contemporary, white for the ocean and then a navy for the land. Out of the 3 designs, I had a lot of fun creating them, and actually the editor process online on their website is very easy to use. You can sometimes get overwhelmed by just how many options or that freedom of whatever you want to create, but here I find they give you enough choices and options without being too overwhelmed. So for me, I found the options were perfect. You can choose a location, and it's powered through Google, so any location you put in there, you are definitely going to find it, whether it's down to the road, the city, a landmark like a mountain, or even a country. It will take you there, and then you can actually zoom in, zoom out. Want to go really down in or go macro, even the whole world map, you can do it as a landscape orientation. And you can actually also put markers. So let's say you did a road trip, maybe it was around Southeast Asia, you went to like Vietnam, Indonesia, Thailand, then you can actually pinpoint those places and it will all be printed out for you. So they give you a lot of great choices when it comes to designing your maps of the world poster, and then you can choose a size from A5 to A0. All 3 of these are in between an A2 and A1. They give you inches as well, can't remember, maybe it's 28 inches by 40 inches, so quite big. And then you also get preview, and to be honest, when it came to me, it's exactly how I designed it, right down to the exact scaling. I rotated the Lofoten one as well, so you can not only place it, but you can play around with the design, and that's how I've got all of the small islands into that vertical frame. Either go landscape or portrait, so you do have the choice, 2 options for portrait or landscape. So if you decide to change the posters in here, then the frame will still apply to all of them. So if you are looking for a travel inspired poster where you want something that is different, really personal, you can design it yourself, and you can, spend hours looking at different ideas, different color schemes to see what works. Then Maps of the World posters are a great addition into your bedroom or your living room. It's very easy, and especially if you have a collection of different sizes between like an A2, A5, A3, you can have like a nice abstract of a wall, and I think it will make an amazing travel piece. I just wanted to share my experience of creating some of these Maps of the World posters. Again, I'll put the link down if you want to go ahead and create your own. You can also find my written review of these posters on my website at onetechtraveler.com. Also my travel stories around the world and gear reviews. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do hit that subscribe button just down below to see more awesome videos like this one. Otherwise, thanks a lot world. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, keep being awesome. Peace.